Vrindavana,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
what year was that?
This was, if I'm not wrong, 2011, Maharaj.
Okay, it looks
2014.
like an old one, yeah.
Yeah, July 2014.
Okay.
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I welcome all of you to His Holiness Chandramauli Swami daily class. And today, Maharaj will continue on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Verse 5. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo, glories to Prabhupada. My obeisances to all the devotees.
So, with your permission, Maharaj, I will share the screen. Over to you, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is the chapter answers by reciting the Lord's version. This is text number 5 of chapter number 9, canto 2. Saevadova Adi Devo Jagatat Paro Guru Swadishna Astaya Shiksriksayak Sata Tam Nadyagachjad Drisam Atrasamatam Prapancha Nirmana Vidiryaya Bhavet. Lord Brahma, the first spiritual master, supreme in the universe, could not trace out the source of his lotus seat. And while thinking of creating the material world, he could not understand the proper direction for such creative work, nor could he find out the process for such creation. Purport. This verse is the prelude for explaining the transcendental nature of the form and the abode of the Lord. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it has already been said that the Supreme Absolute Truth exists in his own abode without any touch of the deluding energy. Therefore, the kingdom of God is not a myth, but factually a different and transcendental sphere of planets known as the Vaikunthas. This will also be explained in this chapter. Such knowledge of the spiritual sky far beyond this material sky and its paraphernalia can be known only by dint of devotional service or bhakti yoga. The power of creation by Lord Brahma was also achieved by bhakti yoga. Brahmaji was bewildered in the matter of creation. He could not even trace out the source of his own existence. But all this knowledge was fully achieved by him through the medium of bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga, by bhakti yoga, one can know the Lord, and by knowing the Lord as the Supreme, one is able to know everything else. One who knows the Supreme Lord knows everything else. That is the version of all the Vedas. Even the first spiritual master of the universe was enlightened by the grace of the Lord. And so who else can attain perfect knowledge of everything without the mercy of the Lord? If anyone desires to seek perfect knowledge of everything, he must seek the mercy of the Lord, and there is no other means. To seek knowledge on the strength of one's own personal attempt is a sheer waste of time. Umagyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Desatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Pipa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. So if you're living in the Western world and you've never been to China, and someone tells you there's a place called China, and then they describe a little bit about the people there, what it's like, you may not be sure that what they're saying is actually correct, or even you might even think it's some kind of mythology because you've never been there. You might have heard of it, but doesn't mean you believe in it. So in the same way, there is a class of people, when they hear about the description of the spiritual world and the activities that go on in the spiritual world, they think it's some kind of myth. So using that example, there are places way beyond our experience. There's places we can never even possibly go to. Just like the sun, we can never go to the sun unless we take on a body of fire. So we might think there's no life on the sun, but the scriptures say there's life on every planet. But the bodies of the living entities are different according to the atmosphere of the place. So in the spiritual world, the atmosphere is pure spiritual energy. And therefore, everyone has a spiritual body. And the activities that go on there are described by the great souls through Krishna's teachings in the scriptures. So we have enough evidence coming from different sources, but we still may doubt it. But therefore, one has to engage in devotional service. When we hear about the realm of the spiritual world and the activities that are going on there, and then we engage in devotional service, the power of our devotional service brings about awareness of that knowledge which is beyond the range of our senses. Here we have the primary example with Lord Brahma. He exists. He's aware of his own existence, but he could not trace it out, couldn't understand where it came from. He could not understand the work he had to do, nor could he understand how creation was meant to be developed. And therefore, what did he do? He heard a voice. The voice said, Tapa. And it spoke twice. Tapa. Tapa means penance or austerity. When he heard that voice, somehow he understood that now he has to perform austerities in order to understand his existence and his service. Crawling back down the lotus flower, he actually began his austerities. And that was to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for about 100 celestial years, which is much more than our time period of 100 years. It's actually millions of years. And when his meditation became complete and perfect, he heard the voice in the heart. Tene Brahmida Adikavaye. Brahma heard the voice of the Supreme Personality of Godhead clear, just like one is hearing the voice of someone who is standing next to you and talking to you. The voice was clear. And he heard everything of all the questions, the answers to all the questions he needed to know. And that meditation, based on his austerity, was his bhakti. So, as Krishna says, Bhakti Mama Vijanati Yavanyas Tatvi Tatvataha. Only by devotional service can I be known as I am. He also says in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 54, that only by devotional service can I be known standing before you and thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So no one can come into the knowledge of spirituality simply by studying books or having many degrees in various types of sciences, even in theology. One has to engage in devotional service, and that qualifies and awakens one's ability to understand the activities of devotional service and everything related to that, including the nature of the Supreme Lord and ultimately our relationship with the Supreme Lord. So bhakti is the answer to everything. And when you engage in devotional service, you are awakening that knowledge which is already within you. The soul is by nature Sat Chit Ananda. The activities of devotional service activate the soul's existence when the soul becomes aware of its prominence or its position or its actual existence. And then the knowledge and the happiness that is there within the soul and the freedom from material entanglement automatically start to manifest through the process of devotional service. So one has to engage in devotional service. And the beginning of devotional service is to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. By hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, one starts to understand the nature of the Lord and the process of devotional service. And through that hearing and chanting, one becomes inspired to engage in the practical activities of devotional service, such as one's activities that make up one's day-to-day activity in devotional service, simply by doing what we say active services. This is called sevaya, the sadhana. Hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord is classified both as sadhana and sevaya. It's both. But it's the awakening of sevaya through the process of sadhana, through hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. And that inspires one to serve the Lord more and more. And one enjoys the service just as much as they enjoy hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. It becomes non-different. Because transcendental happiness permeates devotional service when one gets absorbed in devotional service. When we say absorbed, what does that mean? That there is three features of our existing: body, mind, and words. So when these three are all connected in the process of devotional service, that is absorption. To connect, sometimes we connect the body in devotional service, but the mind is somewhere else. So that we're not fully absorbed or we're not fully connected with the process of devotional service. One has to bring all these three features of one's existence: body, mind, and the activities of speech into the process of devotional service. And each one of these um, categories of our existence has many categories of activities. There are activities for the body, activities for the mind, activities for the speech, which is similar to the activities of the mind. So this is devotional service. And as it says here, uh, this spiritual world cannot be perceived simply by one's ability. Prabhupada said it simply a sheer waste of time. In fact, Prabhupada qualifies any form of knowledge. He says knowledge that is not connected with the absolute principle of knowledge, which is the source of knowledge, is simply mental speculation. That's all. That means it's always changing according to time, place, and circumstance, and persons involved. Therefore, that knowledge, as the Prabhupada says, it's a waste of time because even if you gain something, it's not correct or it's not fully correct. It may be partially correct, but that's called sophistry, something that is half truth and half not untruth. And that's mostly all material knowledge. And even those who try to gather spiritual knowledge through the mind and senses without engaging in devotional service, they are at best some kind of, what we say, philanthropists or scholars who study scripture and make some statements. But as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati says, if you want to taste the honey inside the bottle, you can't do it by licking the outside of the bottle. You have to open up the cap and taste the contents. So in the same way, we can read, but if we're not engaged in devotional service, the knowledge will not formulate into understanding. Therefore, one has to be engaged in devotional. So what does it mean to be engaged in devotional service? Under the guidance of Krishna's representative, the spiritual master, one has to take guidance from the spiritual master and engage in practical devotional service. One might think, well, I can do devotional service without the advice of my spiritual master. Just like one might think, well, yeah, I'm living near a park here, and there's so many birds in the park. So my service will be every day to go out and feed the birds prasadam. You might say, I'm feeding living entities prasad. That's devotional service. Yes, that is, in one sense. But it may not be the service the spiritual master wants to give you for your spiritual advancement. Because the spiritual master also makes some note on how best the devotee can engage in devotional service and also guides them in that way. And therefore, in order to do that, the devotee should inquire regularly, how best can I serve? Or how can I serve? Like that. So that way one is assured advancement in devotional service. We may do other things, and that's nice too, but it may not be the way we can actually proceed in devotional service because each of us has a particular nature, and the spiritual master will try to engage you in certain abilities that you may have or certain natures that you may exhibit. And then when you engage in that way, the quality of your activities brings about realization, and it brings about a type of creativity that comes with the activity, which helps you to inspire more and expand your service more and more and more. So everything should be done under the guidance of the spiritual master. Okay, go down the page. Let's see what else that's in the purport there. Okay, so Brahma becomes bewildered, and he is what we say pure intelligence. The Prabhupada also makes the example, what are we in relationship to Lord Brahma? So therefore, anyone who wants to gain any knowledge must take shelter of the Lord and engage in devotional service. No one can independently become successful, even on the material platform. If one achieves some success in the material life, that success is as temporary as the seasons. And Marta Sparsis Tukuntaya Sitnosa Sukadukada. The seasons come, the seasons go. When we're in the particular season, we think this is the reality. Right now we're in the summer season, at least in the northern hemisphere. And we're thinking, oh, this is the best season, so nice. We can go swimming. We don't have to pay any heating bills. We have so many advantages by being in the summertime, at least material advantages. Well, we should know that very soon this will be gone, and then there'll be snow outside. We'll be bundling up with coats and sweaters and hats and paying big fuel bills in order to heat our house and apartments. And then there's another reality. So this is the nature of anything material. It keeps moving, changing. So things are never the same. So therefore, even knowledge acquired in a materialistic way is subject to the time element like that. And even while it's present, it may also be faulty because it's based on what we say the living entity is honeycombed with four defects: imperfect senses, becomes illusioned, has a tendency to cheat, and makes mistakes. Actually, the sequence is because we have imperfect senses, we become illusioned. And because we become illusioned, we make mistakes and we try to cover our mistakes, and therefore we get into the cheating process. So you can see how these are connected. So therefore, no one can have perfect knowledge or any permanence in anything they achieve unless they come to devotional service, because devotional service is transcendental to everything material and it exists forever. Savai pum som paro dharmo yato bhaktiya hoksajaya hoituki priyata yayatma supersedati. That the highest activity within human society is devotional service. And when that devotional service is free from personal motivation and it's without cessation, then it completely satisfies the self. Okay. And as Prabhupada mentions here, one who knows the Supreme knows everything else. There's a particular verse which slips my mind right now. I can't remember that verse. It says, one who knows Krishna knows everything. If anybody can remember that verse, I would be very much appreciative of that. One who knows God, Krishna knows everything. And that is the fact because Krishna is everything. And knowledge of Krishna contains knowledge of everything, both phenomenal and noumenal, as that's explained in the Bhagavad Gita also.
Is that Bhagavad Gita verse 15.19, Maharaj?
What's the verse say?
Ya mam evam asambuddho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata.
That's saying practically the same thing, but there is another verse that it's from the I think it's from the Upanishads. It's a section of a verse from the Upanishads. The one who knows Krishna knows everything. Okay, so we can stop here and open it up for questions.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening on this very, very important point. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please do raise your hand to ask the question. And if you cannot ask question, you can type in chat window. I can read on your behalf. Also, my one humble request, if possible, try to switch on your video. Yesterday, there was a record of switching 25 video. So let's try to break that record today if possible, at least 26. Hare Krishna.
We have 34 people online, so it's possible. Shiv Kumar Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, and Dr. Rams Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
All
Prabhupada. So Maharaj, I had this question, Maharaj, for quite some time. Does austerity take backseat in the path of bhakti, Maharaj? Is that not so much focused in frontline? Some words around that, Maharaj.
Well, we say that no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meeting, no gambling. It's time of austerity. But then Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita the austerities of the mind, austerities of the body, and austerities of speech. So one should learn those austerities. It's in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. You can go to there, maybe Vrindavan. Go to chapter 17, verse 13.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, and then these things are essential for our practice of devotional service. If we don't constantly cultivate these types of activities as mentioned in these verses, then we won't be able to actually get the full benefit of devotional service. We'll be acting more on a material platform. Let's see what you go, see what it says here. Keep going, go later, a little bit to the later verses. Let's see. Austerity of the body consists of worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual masters, superiors like father and mother, cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and nonviolence. So there's so many austerities of the body. Then you go to austerities of the mind. Austerities of speech consist of speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedas. Austerities of the mind are satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence. These are the austerities of the mind. So I wouldn't say austerities takes a back seat. Some austerities might, but there are practically the whole process of devotional service is full of just austerities. Speak truthfully and avoid nonsense. That's an austerity. Eat prasadam, don't eat bhoga, or food cooked by non-devotees. Food cooked by non-devotees breaks the austerity of the mood of prasadam and causes one's consciousness to be polluted by the consciousness of those who cook, which means material consciousness. So we should avoid that. So these are austerities. Take only prasadam. That's an austerity. And you can't offer food that are cooked by non-devotees to Krishna and say it's austerity. It's not, because Krishna doesn't accept food cooked by non-devotees. So these are some austerities. Where are you? We lost you. I can't see you anymore.
I'm here, Maharaj.
Okay, but where's your camera? I can't find you.
The video is on, Maharaj. Is that?
Oh, there you are.
We can see you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Does that help?
Yes, Maharaj. I just asked in the context of Maharaj, whenever we come across the the slokas that kind of insist on doing tapas and things like that. Even in lectures, we hear this repeatedly, that it's through the bhakti that we can realize Bhagavan, not through the power of austerity or tapas. In that context, I was kind of asking.
Well, bhakti contains knowledge, contains renunciation, and it contains austerities also. So when you say bhakti, you have to understand what bhakti includes. But if you say pure bhakti, then bhakti, that means that one is executing their service with a desire to please Krishna, free from all other forms of desires. But bhakti includes austerity, bhakti includes renunciation, bhakti includes knowledge. But knowledge doesn't include bhakti, austerity doesn't include bhakti, renunciation doesn't include bhakti. So when we get initiated, we say, you follow the four regulative principles of freedom, which are austerities: no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, and no gambling. In Kali Yuga, that's an austerity. Then we add no television. Because when you watch television, people break the four regulative principles on television, and you're watching that. So your mind is actually getting affected by the breaking of the four regulative principles by watching karmi television. So, you have to understand the subtleties that come also with bhakti that now go under different names. Austerity, one type of austerity, what will be, is that on Ekadasi, you fast on Ekadasi, that's an austerity. But that austerity helps to clear the consciousness and makes chanting more powerful in the long run. It destroys the desire to fill the belly. Belly always wants to be filled up. So these are each, on days of the appearance of the Lord. So we perform certain activities, and we also fast on those days, so we can actually take part in the festival with enthusiasm, clear consciousness. So austerity is there. It doesn't take a back seat. It's just intricately connected to bhakti.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, Prabhu. Balawan Nitai Prabhu, please go ahead.
Where is he? I can't see it.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Sri Nityananda.
Is your camera's on? Oh, there
It
it
is. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the enormous one in the red shirt. I am fascinated by ignorance. It's amazing how profound ignorance is, and how it impinges on human understanding, human existence. And you said something today that was so fascinating to me. I think you'd call this a semiotic square. Imperfect senses leads to becoming illusioned, leads to making mistakes, and then you said cheating was the result. I was interested in both. By cheating, do you mean cheating is an attempt to cope with one's own ignorance, or
cheating is to try to get something that you're not qualified to get, or you're using means to get? That's one. And another one, cheating is the way to cover one's mistakes. So when you make mistakes, then you come up with something else, some excuse, which sounds like there's no mistake. It's not really a mistake. You have to see it in a different, So we come up with this cheating ideas, so to convince people that I didn't make any mistakes. You know, just like the politicians are always lying, but they cover it with various types of, you know, words that sound very nice and make people think that what they're saying is actually true. A businessman will say many things in order to sell the product. He's not telling the actual truth because he wants you to buy the product. So he'll say, "I'm giving you 50% off on this thing." But he's not really saying that. He's not really doing that. He's just saying that so you'll be inspired. Just like the biggest thing, the biggest, the most obvious form of cheating, I saw it just yesterday, is that if you spend $50, you get 20% off the products. But if you spend $100, you get 40% off. So spend more money and you'll save more money. Now that's completely cheating. How can you spend more money and then save more money by spending more money? But it sounds like people believe that. It's like that's ignorance to actually believe that. If I spend more money, I'll save more money. It's foolishness. So yeah, this idea of cheating is a way to cover up what you're trying to, in other words, you're trying to deceive somebody, and so you come up with ways to cheat people. Or you lie about what you're saying and that's another form. Lying is also cheating.
So it has this immoral component, would you say, as a end or as a result of this sort of process or state of ignorance? People can't help but lie about it.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole world's full of lying. People lie all the time. But it is immoral because morality is truthfulness. Truthfulness is a principle of morality. And if you're lying, that means you're immoral or you're cheating. I mean, all you look around you, everything about what's going on in the world is full of cheating. Real estate is the biggest form of cheating. That's the particular occupation that cheats people more than anything is real estate. If you do a little investigation, you'll find out. People sell land to other people when it's not, they don't even own the land. They create false deeds and say they own the land and sell it, and then it's owned by someone else. And you buy it, and then you realize they don't own it. You get cheated. Happens all the time. Cheating is, the whole world is just full of cheaters. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati summed it up. He says, there are two kinds of people in the world, cheaters and the cheaters. There's those who cheat and those who are being cheated. The whole material world is cheating you every minute,
Yeah.
saying you can be happy by doing this, another form of cheating. We can use thousands of examples, but I think you got the idea, right?
Sure. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Fascinating.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Divya Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Oh.
Guru Maharaj, I have a doubt today. I was reading, there was a conversation about Jada Bharata and Rahugana. So in that conversation, where Jada Bharata was explaining Rahugana that, okay, when there's a relationship between the master and the servant, and the relationship between the king and his subjects, all these relationships, all these terminologies are actually on the material activities. So sometimes we also say in our sadhana as well that, okay, Krishna is my master and I'm the servant. So how should we differentiate that? Because I got really confused.
That's a reality.
Yeah.
The material titles we adopt are not a reality because they're based on the body and they're temporary. Even Rahugana said that to the king.
Yeah.
He said, I can be the king and you'll be the
Yeah.
carrier. He was teaching that the king was thinking I'm a king, but Rahugana was teaching him, you just think you're a king because you have that position, but actually you're a living entity, part and parcel of Krishna. That's all. If we identify with the roles we play, that is called ahankara or false ego. We only have one identity, Jiva Sarupa Krishna Nichidas. That's the reality. But our relationship with Krishna is the reality. It's eternal and it's never lost. Even if we forget it, it still exists.
So is it all right, Guru Maharaj, to say that yes, he is our master and we are the servant, even if the people out in the world don't understand this terminology or this eternal relationship with our master?
People of the world don't understand a lot of things. That's one of the things they don't understand.
Hmm.
So, yeah, to speak that way is actually good for them to hear. You should say that. I am servant of the Supreme Lord. That is my identity. And I'm engaged in service, so this is my activity. If you say you're a servant, but you're not engaged in service, you still have the identity, but you can't get the benefit of the activity either. No.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Balakrishna Prabhu or Bhagavan Chaitanya Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to the assembled Vaishnava. Guru Maharaj, first of all, thank you so much for gracing our house with your presence. That night was electric. Thank you so much. My question for you is that during initiation, the spiritual master chants on the beads and gives it to the disciple, and the disciple starts chanting on those. Is it mandatory or some sort of requirement that you just should only chant on those beads? Because while traveling and all, it's terrifying to carry those beads. What if I lose them? That kind of stuff, Maharaj.
Yeah, that's a concern.
Yeah.
There are devotees who have a second pair of beads, and they chant on that. But I would say, if your beads that your spiritual master chants on should be the beads you always chant on.
Okay.
Because then there is a added element of mercy there. Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, but don't lose them.
Exactly.
Take good care of them.
Yeah.
Always be conscious where you put your beads. Like when you travel, keep one place that you always keep your beads in. And don't just put them down anywhere. And then that's the way to lose them. When you don't have a designated place to keep your beads.
Yeah.
When you're not chanting. Even in the house, sometimes you'll lose them in the house too. If you put them down, you can't find out where you put them.
True.
Keep one place in the house where the beads are there when you're not chanting. And you know If you don't have them, you know it's when you know where they are.
Wonderful, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Very, very practical tip. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It was nice to meet your wife. That was the first time.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you made a dent there, Maharaj. Usually she's unmovable. And then this is the first time I saw her in the back chanting. I mean, when we were singing, when you were singing, Maharaj, she was kind of singing along. And it's the first time I saw her say Hare Krishna and jumping a little bit. And then later on, when you said you have to do Sankalpa, I'm like, yes, I'm going to use that to manipulate, spiritually manipulate, of course, to try to get her into this.
And tell her that I'm taking the medicine that she suggested I take.
Thank you, Maharaj. She'll be thrilled, I'll tell her. Are you feeling better, Maharaj?
Slowly, it's a 5-day medicine program.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
We're in the today's the 4th day.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think your tapas looks like very big tapas, what you mentioned in the chat. Okay, I'll go to Rishabh Prabhu question. There is one question, Maharaj, in the chat. Rasvilasni Radha Mataji, I will just come back. There is one question in the chat by Rishabh Prabhu. So he's saying, Gurudev, how important is to pray to Krishna that our service becomes or be accepted as pure devotional service? My understanding is what we pray, Krishna empower us, and that just because we do service does not mean it is pure devotional service.
You want to pray for purity in your service. Is that it? I think the prayer is that whatever service you're offering, you pray to the Lord to please accept the service. You should, act in a pure way. There's 2 definitions of purity. One is that one acts purely, and one is actually in pure consciousness. Prabhupada stresses a lot about purity in action. That means strictly acting according to the instructions of the spiritual master and the principles that govern devotional service. Prabhupada talks a lot about purity, but he's not talking about pure devotee. He's talking about purity in activity, purity in intention. So we should develop that mood of purity by not bringing in anything material into our activities or speculating on, what is devotional service. We should know clearly how to execute devotional service properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has acknowledged, saying thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Rasvilasni Radha Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to Guru Maharaj. So, Maharaj, I had a question like, when we perform devotional service, our mind doesn't get fully absorbed in the activity, as you said, and it keeps wandering here and there. That means, Maharaj, somewhere or the other, it is due to your lack of proper hearing.
Well, focus your mind when you're doing something, just like if you're trying to thread some piece of thread through a needle. Now, if you're not fully focused on that, you can't do it. So you become focused. If you're hearing with attention. You're speaking think about what you're saying and think about how to say it. Focus. The hearing process will help you develop focus. That's for sure, yeah. Because as you practice hearing, your senses become, and mind becomes more fixed in general. Seeing, you can't focus so much because things are always moving in the visual range. Just like I'm looking at all of you, and some of you are sleeping, and some of you are moving, some of you are smiling, some of you are waiting for the class to end. Some of you are contemplating what question I should ask. So when we look, we see different things. So vision is a hard thing to focus, although you can do it also too, when the object is not moving. But hearing helps to really focus, both vision and attention. That helps. But at any given moment, just focus. That's all. You don't need to say, well, I haven't heard enough, therefore I can't focus. No, just try to focus. When you're chanting, you have to try to focus your attention on the process of hearing the holy name. Focus. Sometimes when we talk to people, we're half there and half not, and the person sometimes gets a little discouraged, and then the conversation sort of breaks up prematurely because the person's not really listening. Just like I give you an example what people do, and this is quite common. When someone's talking to you, rather than listening, you're thinking about what you're going to say after they stop talking. But if you listen, then your response is more in line with what is being said, and then you actually get into a conversation. Hearing is, we say it's more important than speaking, and speaking is a result of hearing. So sometimes we use a little statement that God gave us one tongue and two ears. Hearing is twice as important. He could have gave us one ear right in the middle of our forehead, but he decided to put one on each side, so we can pick up the sound vibration in a larger range. Yeah. So yeah, practice hearing. That will help you to focus more. But at any given time, just focus.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Kiranasa Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotees. Guru Maharaj, as you are telling Maharaj, we should not take prasadam anywhere outside. But if we visit to relatives or friends home, Maharaj, staying in due to different state, etc., how do we offer take the prasadam? Can we offer to Krishna and eat it, Maharaj?
Well, that's a real tough one because when you're with relatives, you expect you. But I don't know. teach them how to cook. then, then teach them that, before we eat, we offer everything to God. So we have a picture of Prabhupada there, and try to. And if they offer us something that is not, then we can offer it to Prabhupada in our mind. But it's not really the best. It's a compromise program. It's not the best. Try to avoid that.
Sure, Maharaj.
Yeah, with relatives, it's difficult. Right, and try to, what you can do is get around that.
Sure, Maharaj.
Well, I would go home and I'd stay with my mother for a day or two. And then I would tell her that now, we have to offer it. She would cook like something for me. And then I would take it and then I would offer it with prayers to Prabhupada like that. Can't offer to the deities, obviously, but it can offer to the Srila Prabhupada, sometimes we say like that. Or you can offer to your spiritual master. That would be better also.
Okay. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Maharaj, is this the one which you were saying earlier? Yasmin Vijnate Sarvam Evam Vijnantam Bhavati. When the absolute is understood, everything is understood.
Very much. I was looking for that for so long. Yasmin Vigyanta Sarvameva Vigyanta Bhavanti. Yeah. Where is that reference?
This is Mundaka Upanishad in
Yeah,
Srimad
but
Bhagavatam 10:49-13.
13. I want to make a note of that. That is really something I've been looking for. 10:49:13. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see here. There's no paper available here. Anyway, I'll write it somewhere. 10,
49, 13
Yeah.
in the purport.
10, 13. Okay, I got it. We're running close to the end because
Yes, Maharaj.
I have a program upcoming and I have to prepare myself for that also.
Sure, Maharaj. So just like maybe we'll ask if anybody has got last question, small, short, last question. Without that you cannot live, then please do ask. At least request every devotee switch on your video. If possible, last few seconds. That will be a wonderful opportunity.
Let's see.
Yes.
We got getting there. We got
24, Maharaj.
24.
Just matching the record, one more required to beat the record.
Let me see how many we got. 24. Yeah. We got 24.
Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago.
We got 9 stragglers here.
Yes, one more. Yes.
2 more.
Yes.
Sringalila, she's popped up. Okay.
Haribol.
Then Balaram. Okay. Let's see who else we're
And
missing.
Rishabh Prabhu.
Rishabh. Who else are we missing here? We got Rohini, Sita Rani, Bani, Radhika, Shra, Asutosh Sharma, Radhika. There's 2 Radhikas here. Okay, we're getting there. All right, so thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we should be good for class. Tuesday I think I'm traveling on Tuesday, or I'm traveling Monday night and throughout Tuesday. So Tuesday will be, someone else will give the class on Tuesday. Okay, thank you very much.
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील
जय।
प्रभुपाद की
जय।
जय, अनंत
हरे
कोटि
कृष्ण।
वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
Gaur Vimanande, Hari
हरि हरि बोल।
Bro.
हरि बोल।
Ki Jai.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
हरे
Thank you
कृष्ण
so
गुरु
much, Guru Maharaj.
Guru
Hare
Maharaj ki
Krishna.
jai.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच गुरु महाराज।
Hare
चलो
Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
My best wishes and prayers on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Krishna.
हरि बोल।
Guru Maharaj.
थैंक यू।